Hey guys, Troy here. I hope you're well. Today I want to show you some sounds from the Guitar for His Glory Tonex pedalboard bundle. This pack includes 14 captures, including some unique dual captures where I took 2 amps and blended them into one capture. But first, let's see how it sounds in a worship setting, and then I'll tell you the story for how these things are made. So let's talk about how this all got started. A few years ago, I used stereo Kempers as my primary amp simulators, and I used them for about 5 years. During that time, I used a combination of like some free profiles that I found, and I also used some aftermarket profiles from the big hitters out there. I had a relationship with Jonathan and the Sues at Tone Junkie, and I used their stuff exclusively for a long time. And then I got really curious about making my own profiles. The reason being is because I wanted to get these amps in my hands and dial them in the way that I wanted them dialed in, instead of taking a profile that was close and then EQing it on the Kemper to get it where I wanted to be. I wanted to get it right from the source. So what I did is I bought a bunch of my favorite amplifiers. I bought a 2002 Korg era Vox AC30, a 1994 Vox AC30, also Korg era with red Tolex, which clearly makes it sound better, right? A Benson Chimera, a Matchless HC30, a Matchless Chieftain, Fender Pro Sonic, 1964 Vibreverb reissue, and I put a JBL speaker in that to do the SRV thing. I also bought a Steel String Singer clone, which is a Dumble amp that Steve Ray Vaughan used. I bought that, and I borrowed a 1964 Fender Vibrolux that was like in mint condition. I think that's all the amps that I bought. So I bought all of them and profiled them exactly the way that I wanted them to sound, with like single coils and humbuckers and even Filtertron pickups. One of my favorite discoveries, though, during that time was actually blending 2 of the amps together and then profiling that sound. So I would blend like the AC30 with the Chimera, and it would lean, toward the AC30 sound, but have a little bit of that Chimera sound. And then I would flip it and blend the Chimera with the AC30, but making the Chimera the dominant sound. And same thing with like the Matchless and the Vibrolux, etc. So the dual profiles were my favorite. And it was so cool to put like an AC30 and a Pro Sonic blended together on this side, and then like, a Matchless and the Vibrolux on this side. And the sound that I got was just amazing. Fast forward to now, I'm using the Tonexes for various reasons, not least of which is the Tonex is less compressed at the input than the Kemper, and I think it takes wet effects a lot better, does the energy thing a lot better, the movement with the wet effects and the artifacting and stuff. It does that as good as anything that I've ever tried. So I wanted to have those sounds from the Kemper in the Tonex. I really miss those sounds. So I experimented with capturing my Kemper profiles with the Tonex capture device, and man, they turned out awesome. I'm so happy with the way they turned out, and actually very surprised too. So it took everything that I loved about the Kemper profiles and left all the stuff that I didn't like. So get those dual capture sounds, even just like the straight up AC30 or the straight up HC30 sounds are really, really good. You also get the benefit of less compression at the input with the Tonex and the energy and artifacting thing that I mentioned before. So pretty cool discovery. Really happy about it. Been using these, been tweaking them. The way that I captured them is, like, if you pick these up, what you'll want to do is keep in mind that the treble is usable between like 3 and 8. I wanted to have some extra high end on tap because some of the captures that I've tried didn't have enough high end available. I had to like crank the treble and then crank the presence, which is kind of artificially creating treble in a way that maybe makes the capture depart from like its original captured state. So I captured these with enough treble at the get-go, and you can actually put it between like 3 and 8 and you'll find it to be pretty usable. I find myself with like these pickups, which are Lambertone's grinders, between like 5 and say 7 or so in the treble. That works out pretty well. I always profile or capture in this case with a little bit more bass than what I would actually use, and then I cut it. So I cut the bass down to about 3 or 4, which opens it up a little bit. And then I also capture it with a bit more gain than what I would normally use, and then I back off the gain on the capture, which helps create some headroom. So it takes wet effects a lot better than if I just leave the gain at 5. So there's some tips and tricks for you if you decide to pick these up. If you want to pick these up, there's a link below. And if you keep scrolling, there is a coupon code that could be helpful for you. And I do hope that you find the captures helpful. I love them. They turned out exactly as I'd hoped, and honestly better than I'd hoped. I didn't know what would happen capturing Kemper profiles. And I know for the purists out there, they might not be for you, and that's okay. But if you're really looking for, hey, I want good tone, don't care how it was made, then these will be great for you. And really, I hope they're helpful for a very specific purpose, and that purpose is forgetting about your tone. Our end goal as worshipers should be to not think about our tone when we're worshiping God, whether it's on Sunday mornings or different gathering times. Our focus should be on our God and the salvation that he has graciously provided us through his son, Jesus Christ. We should be celebrating him. We should be celebrating with our brothers and sisters in the congregation and on the worship team, be celebrating who our God is and what he has done for us. And if we're too focused on our tone, we miss out on those moments, and we're really missing the mark for why we are there in the first place and what our purpose really is. So if these can help you do that, if these can help you lock in your tone so you forget about it, then I feel like my mission has been accomplished. If you have any questions about them at all, please let me know. I'd be happy to help you out in any way I can. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one. Love you guys.